Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Goalpost Podcast. It's the first one in a while. We do apologise about that. As you can see, we are a man light this week. No Darius, unfortunately, he's unwell, but we still have the main man, Lee, here. How are you, Lee?
Yeah, I'm alright. I'm not too bad. Been alright. Been a bit of a while, but we'll get back into
Yeah,
it all.
yeah, we will. We sure will. No point dilly-dallying. Big news today, Thursday, the 10th of November. The England squad's been announced. Yeah, let's dive into it. Lee, what are your thoughts on the squad, mate?
Um, I'm disappointed, but I don't think I'm surprised at some of the choices he's made. I have to say, he likes
100%.
his favourites, and it's just a bit disappointing. I think we could have done with something a bit fresher.
Yeah.
A few more young players instead of ones that have. You do need experience, but some of the players that are in there, I don't think are the best possible choices to give us the best chance in this year's World Cup.
No, I totally agree with you. I mean, I think the big one that everyone will be talking about is Harry Maguire and no Tomori, which I think is huge. I mean, what are your thoughts on that then? Maguire going ahead of Tomori, or any of the
Yeah.
defenders going ahead of Tomori?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say even I can see why he's put Maguire in there because he has been like a stalwart in defence for Gareth Southgate's side. But players like Connor Cody and Eric Dyer, they're not really my cup of tea. I don't think Connor Cody's not he's been playing for Everton, but I don't think he's had the best season. And yeah, Fikayo Tomori, he's the best defender in that AC Milan side, and they won the Serie A last season, and he should really be getting in. He should probably be starting for England. Never mind just being a squad player, and not getting in front of Connor Cody is bizarre to me.
Oh, 100%. Like I said, won Serie A last year, through to the knockout stages of Champions League as well this year with AC Milan. Um, yeah, it is a poor decision. It just proves that you have to play in the Premier League to get in the England squad, really. Um, I was our first episode when we done our England squads. I was a big Eric Dyer advocate for him going. Last few weeks his form has dropped off, and I can see why people would be upset with him going. But yeah, like you said, Connor Cody, it's a bit of a yikes. And Harry Maguire as well, I think. I mean, in that first episode, we didn't really talk about Ben White a lot. How are we feeling about Ben White going?
No, I don't mind that. I didn't have him in my original squad, but with the injuries to Reece James and Ben Chilwell, he's a good defender. He can cover the centre half and right back positions, and he's been playing really well for Arsenal in that right back position. So I think he's a good choice, and I don't mind him going. He'll probably play a few games, I think, but he won't be a definite starter, but he'll be useful um, part of the squad.
Um, Obviously, mainly for Arsenal, he plays as a right back this season. Um, but with England, Gareth likes his five at the back. Do you do you reckon he could play a wing back as a wing back, or do you think he would just slip in to one of the centre halves? Do you reckon?
Nah, I think if he's gonna play anywhere, it'll probably be like that right centre half position. Um, we've obviously got Trent and Kieran Trippier and Kyle Walker are all available to play that right wing back position. So I think if he was to play, he'd probably slip into right centre half unless we did start with a back four and Trippier was playing left back and Walker wasn't available for some reason. I think he'd play there.
Yeah, I mean, goalkeepers are strong. I think we're happy with the goalkeepers, aren't we? Probably the best outcome. I know, again, going back to the first episode, I put Henderson in only because I think Pickford had a minor injury at the time. I think there
Oh,
was a lot of people making it a bigger deal than what it was. Um, Obviously Pickford's come back, he's done all right, and obviously Henderson's been hit or miss. Um, yeah, like I said, goalkeepers are fine. Um, I can understand why he's taking Walker. He hasn't played a lot. Obviously, he had surgery and injuries. I don't know. It's a bit weird because you'd like players to go on form and not off reputation. And obviously, Walker and Maguire haven't played a lot. They're going on reputation. Walker is more understandable. Love Walker, quality player. Yeah, I think the defense is a bit of a letdown, but
Mm.
hey, big injuries to James and Chilwell, like you said as well. Not good. I think Sessegnon pulled up last night with a hamstring injury, so he
Oh,
he may he may or may not have been in the squad. I think he might have done, maybe. I don't know. I mean, he's done all right for Conte and Spurs this season. Um, but yeah, I think he pulled up with a hamstring injury last night against Nottingham Forest. Um, Looking into the midfield, then I think the big standout for me is Conor Gallagher
hmm.
being there. I think that was a bit odd. I don't know about you.
Uh, if the World Cup was in the summer when it was supposed to be, and Conor
Yeah,
Gallagher was in that England midfield, I'd go, yeah, he
yeah,
fully deserves his place. But this season, he's not really found his place in that Chelsea side as of yet. And yeah, I don't really think. I think James Ward-Prowse would probably have been a better option, even though Southampton haven't been the greatest. He offers something different. He's got a deadly set piece if we need it in the last minute, or he's a great captain, he's a great leader. Whereas Conor Gallagher is just kind of been in a bit of a lull since going back to Chelsea, and he's not really been able to establish himself as like a top midfielder.
yeah. 100%, 100% agree with you there. Um, yeah, obviously Bellingham's going. Hopefully he should be starting as well. Um, it's a big World Cup for him. I think 19 years old. It's gonna be so exciting to watch. I don't think we've had a player since probably Wayne Rooney when he first come onto the scene for England. Who's for me personally, I mean, I was too young to remember Wayne Rooney's debut. I think what was it, 2004, 2003, something like that. Don't have that much long of a memory of football, unfortunately. But no, Bellingham, very exciting for him. Um, I think another big shout is Calvin Phillips, your man at City, getting in. How do you feel about that?
I can definitely see why he's put him in and he's taking the risk because we have got midfielders like you've got to think if he plays the 5-2-3, which he usually plays, the starting two is probably going to be Bellingham and Rice. So he's not going to play 90 minutes. I think that's what Southgate said in his press conference. But we saw in the Euros how good he can be in an England shirt, and I think he has been unlucky this season. He's been out for most of the season, but he came on last night against Chelsea and was really good. Um, and I think he he's lucky to be there, but I don't have a problem with it because I think he's like a quality player. And yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think we all put him in our team anyway. Um, yeah, Yorkshire Pillow, any. I think it's fantastic as well. Um, but yeah, just don't know. It's weird because he hasn't played a lot of football, and like you said, James Ward-Prowse as well. He's done a hell of a lot for Southampton. I know maybe not this season, but yeah, I think it's a bit odd. Not odd. I can understand it, but yeah. Um, Looking at the forwards, obviously when I saw the squad announcement and I looked at midfielders, I didn't see James Maddison in there, and I went, he's fucking not picked him. He's fucking not
Mm.
picked him, the bastard, and all that. And then I look forwards, and he has picked James Maddison. Probably the most deserving player to be called up. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, you've got to agree. He's been in fantastic form for Leicester. Um, he's been at the forefront of trying to turn around their form and drag them up the league table. And he's even back to last season, he's been fantastic. One of England's best midfielders, and I'm glad he's been given the chance to go to the World Cup and hopefully prove that he is a very good player.
100%, 100%. I think that's maybe one of the reasons Ward-Prowse didn't go. because everyone talks about Ward-Prowse and his set pieces, but Madison's just as good
Mm.
with free kicks and corners. So I think that may be one of the reasons Ward-Prowse didn't go. But yeah, Madison, what a player in form. But knowing Gareth, he won't start him. He'll leave him on the bench for 70 minutes. So yeah, I think one of the big ones that we had a debate about was the backup strikers to Kane. They've brought in Callum Wilson, which I suggested. I didn't put him in my team because I'm a pillock, but I suggested it as a shout, and he's gone. He's in fantastic form for Newcastle. Yeah, are you happy with that, Lee?
Yeah, I'd have to say Callum Wilson has definitely he's been a good striker for Newcastle. They're third in the league, they're high flying, and he's been a big part of that in that front three with kind of Maximin and Almiron. But yeah, he's definitely deserving his place. I think there could be room for Ivan Toney in there, but he's unlucky not to get in. But yeah, I'd say I don't mind Callum Wilson being there as like the number 2 to Harry Kane.
Obviously, Mr. Marcus Rashford has been picked as well. It'll be interesting to see what Southgate, how he uses him, either coming in off the left or as another striker. I think it would be a bit of both, really.
Yeah.
Depending on the game situation, won't it? But yeah, I mean, Kane and Wilson, the only two out and out strikers that we've picked. Yeah, I mean, Kane's guaranteed, but he's played a lot of games for Tottenham. Hell of a lot of games. Surprised he didn't get a rest yesterday, but then Tottenham ain't got no backup strikers at the minute, so that's funny. But yeah, Abraham, any do you think he
No,
deserved it or not?
I mean I don't really watch much Italian football to be honest with you, but I can see why he might get in. But I'm fine with Callum Wilson or Ivan Toney being the backup striker, and he's obviously gone for Callum Wilson. I think maybe Rashford is probably lucky, even though he's been getting a bit better. I think maybe that's where you could see if he had Ivan Toney in instead, because we've already got, Foden plays on the wing, Grealish plays on the wing, Saka, Sterling,
Yeah.
Mount. Mount can play on the wing. Yeah, Madison could have played on the wing. So it's obviously we've got a lot of wingers. So
Yeah.
maybe we could have done with an extra striker.
Yeah, I mean, Abraham scored at the weekend against Sassuolo, and the commentator pointed it out. It was his first league goal since September in the Serie A, so I can understand why he hasn't been picked. Apparently, Abraham has only got 4 goals in all competitions as well this season, which is pretty worrying for him. Yeah. Yeah. Who else is in the team then? Who else is in? We've got Sterling was a guarantee, weren't he? Really?
Yeah.
Grealish, I think international suits him better. He's
Yeah.
not under the shackles a bit more.
I don't know if you
Sh-
watched it. Watched the match last night. City against Chelsea.
I didn't, unfortunately.
You didn't,
I saw Mahrez's goal though, free kick.
Yeah, but after Grealish, other than probably Ortega, the goalkeeper, who made some absolutely unbelievable saves, but Grealish was absolutely cooking. It was one of those games where he hasn't got a goal or an assist. I think a lot of people look at that nowadays to judge how good a player is.
Yeah.
But the way he was just driving past, he deserved a goal. He was driving through Chelsea's defense. It. I think he struggles like in league games and whatever when we're like attack against defense kind of thing, because he's always isolated on the left wing. It's a really slow tempo, and it's 1v1 him against the fullback from a standing start. He's not that kind of dribbler, so he often like loses the ball or just makes easy pass back. Whereas when
Oh,
in the Chelsea
frozen.
game, oh, you all right?
Hang on. Yeah, your hand's
Yeah,
moving.
yeah.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Whereas in the Chelsea game, instead of being like stood up 1-on-1 against who was the right back for Chelsea, I think Loftus-Cheek was playing right back. he was driving through the midfield because there was a lot more space. He was picking it up at the halfway line and taking it to the edge of the box and making the pass or having a shot himself. And he played really well. It's probably one of his best games this season. He was doing that really well against United. And again, like he may only have one goal this season. I think it is a no assist, but like he makes an impact on games and he knows how to like he creates goals, but he doesn't like create the assist or score the goal. If you get what I mean?
Yeah, I do. He's a fantastic player, isn't he? Yeah, I think people do put a big emphasis on goals and assists nowadays instead of looking at the actual footballer and what talent they have. So we've got Saka in. Saka was a guarantee as well, weren't he? He's fantastic form for Arsenal this season. So is Foden. Yeah, I mean, how are we feeling overall? I mean, going into the tournament, do you reckon quarterfinals, maybe semi-finals, winning the World Cup? I'm joking. Maybe. Am I? No, I'm not.
It's definitely going to be tough. I think we are going to be better off for the experiences we've had in the last two competitions. I think we'll win it. I mean, I'd love to think so, but probably not. Unless there's some sort of miracle. But yeah, I could see quarterfinals. I think it's something like we might end up playing France in the quarterfinals if we win our group or something like that, which is obviously a tough game. But after looking at a French squad, I mean, maybe we could beat it, but I don't know. It depends because the thing that I'm looking forward to seeing is what Southgate will actually play, like as in formation.
Yeah.
Because are we going to play a 5-2-3 against Iran? Like, surely he can't. Like, it's
The
like
mighty
we've got
nation.
Iran, USA, and Wales. We shouldn't need to play 5 defenders or whatever to beat them. But yeah, it'll be interesting for sure. But I think quarterfinals will probably be a goodish tournament, even though I think people are expecting a bit more because of the last two. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think quarterfinals is minimum. If we get beyond that, it's a success. Oh, I don't know, man. I think you're right. It'll be interesting to see how he plays in the first few games. Yeah, I'll tell you what I'd like to see. I'd like to see Kane and Wilson up top together. If he's going to play a 5-3-2 or 5-2-3 or whatever, Kane and Wilson up top, man. I think that could work a treat. Or Kane and Rashford, but preferably Kane and Wilson. Kane can just do the flick-ons, and then Wilson just he's gone, mate. He's gone. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Player we didn't talk about, Jordan Henderson. He's in the team. Bit shaky for Liverpool, hasn't he? He's been recently. I'm hoping he's only gone for experience.
Yeah.
And doesn't actually play. No offense, Jordan. You've been great, mate, but not at the top level anymore, son. Oh, he's gonna call me a big dotter like Tyson Fury did.
No, I agree. I think he's been taken as a kind of break glass in case of emergency. If he's only going to play 2 midfielders or 3 midfielders or whatever, you've got to think Bellingham, Phillips, Rice, Mount, probably Maddison and Gallagher. I've got that covered. But experience in the last few minutes, maybe if we're winning 1-0 in a big game. Come on.
Oh, don't. He'll do keep you off to the penalty spot again. Oh,
just hoof it out or whatever. Same with like Maguire and whatever. You can just chuck them on, and they'll head everything away. So I do see why he's bought him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully, we go far, but I'm not holding my breath. So we have a look at the last Premier League weekend then, before the World Cup season starts. World Cup season? I don't know. We're going to call it that, the festive season. I don't know.
hot chocolates everywhere when we win the World Cup.
Oh, don't. Get me a Bailey's. Oh God. Bloody hell. Right, what are the fixtures then? What are the fixtures? Come at me. Right, City have got Brentford, 12:30 kickoff. Oh shit. What are we saying? Are you gonna spank them or not? They're on a bit of a downward spiral, aren't they? Brentford.
Yeah, I'm just having a look.
I haven't won in there.
Yeah, they haven't won in 4, have they? I'm looking at it now, but they've got a lot of draws. But I think at home to Brentford, we should at least hopefully have enough to beat them. Haaland, I don't think will start, if I'm being totally honest. I think he'll start Alvarez again because he scored again last night, he scored on the weekend, and he scored against Sevilla. He's been in good form, and I don't think Haaland's fully fit yet, so we'll just probably leave him for the World Cup because he's obviously not going since on Norway aren't there. But yeah, I think we should brush Brentford aside quite easily. But then I thought the same about Fulham, and that was a bit tight on it.
Don't. I
But
can
yeah,
shit myself, man.
it was.
The Accas were doing me dirty. I was like, 1-0, 1-0. How they drawing 1-0 to Fulham, man? I was like, oh, Haaland saved today. Is Alvarez going to the World Cup?
I don't know if they've announced the squad, but
Oh, okay.
I think he will be going to the World Cup because he's played in like all the Argentina games recently.
Okay.
He played in that, what was it, the Finalissima.
Oh, yeah.
He played in that. I think he might have started that. But yeah.
Well, I was going to say he should definitely be back up, if not starting.
Yeah.
I think Lautaro Martinez, isn't it? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it should be a comfortable day at the office for City, really. Brentford, I think they'll be glad to get to the World Cup period and reset again. Yeah, comfortable City win, 3-0. Yeah. Bournemouth Everton. Obviously, they've just played in the Carabao Cup on Tuesday night, and Bournemouth spanked them 4-1. Admittedly, Lampard changed the whole 11, but when you're a mid-table team like Everton, mid-table, I'll do that in quotations, haven't been relegated from the Premier League in since it's been started, haven't? Yeah. You would have thought go on a cup run, give the fans something to cheer about, but no. Yeah, I mean, what we see in this one, obviously, Bournemouth have just won 4-1 against them. Do you reckon they'll do it again, or?
I think it's going to be a classic case. You always see it. You play 2 games in a row. One team wins in the cup. The next team will win in the league. So yeah, I think Everton will win. It's one of those things in football that always happens, no matter what. If you play someone twice in a row, one will win one, and the other will win the next game.
What's it? I think Bournemouth haven't got Is it Neto, their goalkeeper? Is it Neto or is it Leto?
Neto is the goalkeeper, yeah.
Yeah, he's injured though, isn't he? They're
Right.
playing Travez, who's a bit, it's a bit of a yikes. Yeah, I shouldn't really be calling that goalkeepers. I gave Danny Ward stick, and now look at him, couple of clean sheets, isn't it? No, I reckon a draw, score draw. I reckon for that game. Liverpool v Southampton. Obviously, Liverpool league form back off the big win at Tottenham at the weekend. Won in the cup as well against Derby, League One Derby, on penalties against Southampton, who've got a new manager, Nathan Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, what are your thoughts on both sides, Lee?
Well, Liverpool have struggled, haven't they, against the teams that are lower down in the table so far this season. They've been all right against City. They played Tottenham. They gave Arsenal a good game and probably should have got a point. But yeah, they've been struggling. But at home against Southampton, it's one of them where you think they'll probably win. But with the form they've been on, they really need to win that last game before the World Cup. Get that boost just before the big break. But yeah, I think they will win.
Yeah, I think Salah's come into form at the wrong time, really. I think, he's just got back into his powers and then bloody month off for the World Cup. But yeah, I think Liverpool will win that game. Nathan Jones, from what I've seen in the Championship, obviously my team's Reading. If you didn't know that, you are. No, he managed Luton. He done a fantastic job with Luton. He had a loan spell away at Stoke, shall we say? Didn't go to plan at Stoke. I think it'd be a difficult job at Stoke though the time he come in. But last season in the Championship with Luton got them into the playoffs. And yeah, it was a fantastic season for him. Is he a good manager? Is he good enough for the Premier League? We'll find out. I have my doubts. I do have my doubts, but he's a young manager, and yeah, good for him. He does whinge a lot. I must admit, he does. He does half whinge. I tell you, bloody hell. Next game, Nottingham Forest, the Palace. Actually, Palace have come in some good form recently. So Forest
Yeah.
really. Yeah, what are we saying, Lee? What are we saying about this game?
Well, Palace, yeah, I've been playing really well, and they won the first away game of the season at the weekend against West Ham.
Yeah,
That last minute winner from Elise, what a player.
star boy. Yeah,
But yeah, Forest have been all right, but they're still not picking up the points. I'm just looking at the league table now. They're still only on 10 points. They really need a big win. The home crowd behind them. Palace haven't been great away from home. So I could see Forest nicking a point, getting a point, or maybe even getting a win with that in that game.
yeah. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, Forest beat Spurs in the cup yesterday, Carabao Cup. Palace lost last night, I think, away to Newcastle 3-2. I believe it was something like that.
It was
I'll
on
double
penalties,
check.
I think.
Was it on penalties? Bloody hell.
Or Newcastle went to penalties, I know
Yesterday. Who did Palace play? Oh yeah, it did go to penalties. Sorry. Oh, 3-2 on penalties. My bad. Whoops. Yeah. I think Palace going forward have got a bit too much quality for Forest at the back, if I'm being honest. Zaha, Elise, Hudson Edward, or Mateta, fantastic going forward. It's a fantastic front three for the Palace to have. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a Palace win. Yeah. Next game, Spurs v Leeds. Obviously, Leeds are bloody winning games in injury bloody time recently, aren't they? And Spurs always have to go 2-0 down in the first half to start playing. So it'll be interesting to see what do you reckon is going to happen in this game?
I mean, Jesse March, it was looking like he's probably going to get sacked. And
Yeah.
then he went to Anfield and won. And
Yeah.
then they beat Bournemouth last week 4-3.
Yeah.
They've got back up the table and they're in a bit of good form. Whereas Tottenham, I'm looking at lost 3 of the last 4 now because they've lost to Liverpool, Newcastle, and
United, wasn't it?
Arsenal.
Was it United? I thought it was United. Or was it Arsenal?
Not
Might have been Arsenal. I mean, they've lost a lot recently, so who knows?
Yeah. It was United, sorry. But yeah, they're not in the greatest of form, aren't Tottenham? They lost again last night. So it's one of them where if Leeds, turn up and get in Tottenham's faces and give them a bit of a battle, I think Leeds could get something from that.
Oh dear. Where were we? Leeds. Yeah. Yeah. All Leeds are gonna have to do is show up in the first half, really, and as long as they get 3 goals in the first half, they're gonna win it. I think the problem with Tottenham at the minute though is got quite a few injuries. To attacking players. A lot of players are fatigued as well. I mean, you look at the likes of Kane, who's played pretty much every game this season with Richarlison's injury. If Richarlison didn't get injured, I don't think Kane would have played last night. And then yeah, I think Højbjerg as well. He's played I think every minute as well for Tottenham this season or close to it. So yeah, a bit of fatigue setting in for Tottenham, I think, and I think the World Cup can't come soon enough for them. Bloody hell, words. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a score draw again. I think if Tottenham win it, fair play. If Leeds win it, fair play. Oh, it's one of those, isn't it? West Ham, Leicester. Obviously, West Ham are a bit whiffy, aren't they, this season? What do you think's happening there? Do you think it's hangover from Europa League and playing on
Yeah,
Thursdays?
well, they've had two excellent seasons, haven't they, in the past 2 years, and now they just seem a bit drained, a bit bereft of ideas. I'm looking at the league table now, and in this going into this game, Leicester are actually ahead of
Bloody
West Ham.
hell.
So like 4 games ago, you wouldn't have.
No.
Leicester were adrift, the bottom of the table, but West Ham haven't been great this season, have they? It's been a tough year for David Moyes and his side so far.
It has. It sure has. What a turnaround from Leicester, though. My main man, Daniel Ward, in between the sticks, what a fantastic goalkeeper he is. Keeping clean sheets left, right, and centre now. Do you know what? I feel bad going back to West Ham. Sorry, I feel bad for Antonio. He's the main striker for West Ham for the last God knows how long. They signed Skamaka. I mean, he doesn't look great, does he, Skamaka, really?
No, he hasn't. He hasn't lit the Premier League like just yet. He scored a really good goal one week, and then it's kind of like he's not really getting. I think he got taken off at half time, was it, against Crystal Palace, and a lot of
Yeah.
West Ham fans were saying like he can't really do much if he doesn't get the service.
No, that's true. He's a
And
big lad,
Bowen
isn't he?
not being
Being on form either.
no, not being the same as last year. So it's been quite tough for West Ham.
Yeah.
I think
James Maddison hat trick. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Do you reckon Leicester win? Or
yeah, I think Leicester at home. Oh no, Leicester away. Sorry. So
yeah,
it's one of those where I could see them turning up at the London Stadium and getting a win actually. So I'll go Leicester
yeah.
win.
Now it's a big top four clash. Well, for one of the
Mm.
sides it is anyway. Newcastle United v Chelsea. I'm going to kick it off and say I think Newcastle are going to win at home at St James's. It's a fortress up there. Playing a bit of a Chelsea side who aren't in the greatest of form at the minute after a great start from Potter. Yeah, I just think Newcastle are going to win it. I don't know about
Yeah.
you, Lee.
No, I completely agree. You've seen Graham Potter so far has not. He started off quite well, but in these recent games, lost to Arsenal, the big loss to Brighton the week before. Then they got back on track. I think they won in the Champions League, but they lost again to City last night. Seems like against the top teams, at the moment, he hasn't quite got it sorted. And Newcastle have been
Yeah,
fantastic so far this season. You cannot say they're lucky to be in third. They've completely deserved it. They've got the best defensive record in the league. They're it's what a season it has been so far, and I can only see it getting better, especially at St James's Park. We know how much of a fortress that has become under Eddie Howe. And yeah, I think I look back at City drawing with Newcastle 3-all earlier in the season. I think that was a good point for City. Newcastle a shot up the table and are well deserved for where they are.
yeah. I mean, everyone's saying it in the media how good of a job Eddie Howe's doing up there, but he really is. From when he took him over, obviously money helps. Big spend in last January to keep him in the league. Big spend this summer, but he's done fantastically well. It's good to see. I know Potter is going through a bad run at the minute, but it's good to see two English managers at two top teams doing well, relatively speaking. Yeah, but I think Eddie Howe's going to come up trumps on this one. Last game on a Saturday, 7:45 on a Saturday. Oof. Oh, that is an ugly kick-off time. Wolves v Arsenal. I mean, I'd go off and say Wolves are in dire straits at the minute, and I don't think they're going to get a result. But then saying that, they've got a new manager in now.
Well,
Is he?
he doesn't start till the day after. He's coming in after he's starting the day after, so he's got all the World Cup. He's not gaffer in this game.
Okay. Well, even so, maybe
yeah,
the players might think, right, we've got to bloody turn up now. I think Arsenal would be too strong for them. I don't know about you.
I can see Arsenal winning that game, and going into the mid-season break top of the league.
That's not
Who'd have
good.
thought that?
Yeah, who would have thought that? That's not good. That's not good. Yeah, I mean, Arsenal have probably got arguably. I think it all comes down to who's got the best defensive midfielder in it, really. I mean, you look at City, they've got Rodri. Arsenal have got Partey, and every Premier League winning team has got that one player in midfield, defensive midfielder, who just dominates. I mean, Kante was it for so long at Chelsea and Leicester. Fernandinho at Liverpool, not Liverpool, Manchester City. There we are. And now obviously Rodri. Liverpool had Fabinho. Yeah, and I think Thomas Partey's just elevated them to a new level. But yeah, it is what it is. If he can stay injury free this season, it'll be worrying to see if they're up there for that long. Yeah, but Arsenal win away at Molineux. Sunday's first game, Brighton and Hove Albion versus Aston Villa.
Yep.
Villa off coming off a first league win against Man United in bloody ages. I don't know how long it was. It was I think since the 90s. How are we going to see this one going? Obviously, Brighton smashed Chelsea the other week.
Well, yeah, Brighton I saw it when they came to the Etihad under the new manager, De Zerbi. He hadn't won the game, and we did beat them at the Etihad, but they gave us a really good game. They're one of the best teams to come to the Etihad, and I think he's getting the results now. He's won 2 in a row.
Yeah,
big result against Chelsea.
Wolves, weren't it, as well?
Wolves,
they were 2-0 down, weren't they? And they come back.
So I can see Brighton at home. But then you look at the way Villa played against Man United at the weekend. It's going to be a really interesting game. And Villa do actually kick off against Man United in the Cup tonight.
Oh, that's at Old Trafford, is it?
Yeah. So I think it'll be an even game, but I could see, score draw, I'd say. Very exciting game.
Yeah. Well, let's hope so. It's live on Sky.
Not Sky, so don't know.
Right, down the boozer, Lee. Down the boozer instead. And the last game for the Premier League before the mid-season break, Fulham v Manchester United at Craven Cottage. Obviously, Fulham done well against you boys at the weekend just gone. Do you reckon they'll do similar against United?
Yeah, I mean, I won't put it past them. They've been very good. They got a point against Liverpool, nearly got a point against City. Gave Arsenal a good game, if I remember rightly.
Gave Tottenham a good game as well.
Yeah,
I think
they're definitely a good team, especially at home. And United away at Villa wasn't shaky, and it's one that I could see, maybe a draw if not a Fulham win.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Mitro's back, isn't he? Mitrovic.
I'm not sure, but
I'm pretty sure. So. Yeah. I think he is. I'm 90% sure he is. I'm so confident that he's back. Yeah. I mean, they've got a half decent side for them. Decent side. Got some good players in there. But yeah, I could see Fulham getting a result against Man United. I mean, I think Ten Hag will be happy at this stage of the season where he is and how the fans have taken to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see Fulham getting a result there. I think that's it, Lee. Are we happy?
I'm very happy.
All right, my friend. Right. Thanks for listening, guys. Yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Please like and subscribe. Catch you later.